All right, welcome back to another edition of the Monday Night Wars. This is for Monday Night Raw, December the 11th, 1995, the go-home show to In Your House Season's Beatings. This is the 14th week in the Monday Night Wars. This is the 139th episode of Raw and its history. This Raw taping took place from Salisbury, Maryland. The ratings was 2.6 to 2.5 in favor of Nitro. So after this week's loss, the scoreboard is 6 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws all time for the WWF up against WCW. So this is the Raw that lost to Nitro by just 0.1, but drew a 2.5 in the ratings. McMahon and King are on commentary. Owen Hart in the first match takes on jobber Jeff Hardy. This is Jeff Hardy's first match, and that's not his name, jobbing Jeff Hardy. That's not his character's name. He's just the jobber in the match. Yokozuna and Jim Cornette in Owen's corner. Jeff Hardy making his WWF debut here. Looks extremely young, probably is still a teenager. Owen Hart with a side headlock, and then Jeff kips up and hits a shoulder block with an arm wringer. Impressive move by Jeff. Diesel's watching in the back because Owen Hart made an open challenge and Diesel accepted. Owen with a backbreaker. Owen tossed Jeff into the corner, and they showed Diana Hart looking concerned. She's there to promote the BRET Bulldog match that happens this Sunday at Season's Beatings. Jeff set inside it out with a clothesline by Owen Hart. He does like a double flip, does Jeff, with Owen's clothesline, really making it look good, selling it well. Owen on the top rope with a missile drop kick off the top. Owen puts Jeff into a victory roll and wins at just 2 minutes, 38 seconds. I rated it a star because it had good action in it. So, In Your House Season's Beatings had the worst buy rate in pay-per-view history. I can't imagine why. I mean, there's just jobber matches in this Raw, and then the main event gets cut off, so it wasn't the greatest Raw. It wasn't the greatest time for the WWF either, with pay-per-view buy rates, ratings, whatever, house, gates, live attendance, merchandise. They had some marketable characters at this time, but they just weren't really great creatively. It would take Bischoff kicking McMahon's ass for McMahon to wake up. But we'll see that as weeks go on. Next, we have Aja Kong against Chaparita Asari. I wonder why people would be tuning into Nitro. I mean, Aja Kong versus Chaparita Asari. Asari making her debut. Aja Kong had appeared 2 weeks before this, and she won a tag team match against Alundra Blaze when she teamed with Bull Nakano. That's the only thing I know about Aja Kong. Kong with a suplex, picks her up, and a crossbody attempt by Asari. And then a suplex. She's not done. She does a powerbomb pile driver move. It's like a powerbomb with a pile driver. She has the head down, but it's in a powerbomb way. So Kong is just toying with Asari. She could put Asari away anytime, but she keeps lifting her head off the mat at the 2 count. A snapmare and then side splash off the side ropes, a big splash, and she picks her head off the mat after the 2 count again. And then a corkscrew plancha is missed by Chaparita Asari, but Aja Kong comes back with a high-impact backhand, and that's it at 3 minutes. So it's a squash, but it was some nice moves in the match, so I rated it a star and 3/4. Todd Pettengill interviews Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels thanks the fans for being interested in, or not just interested, but in giving him well wishes from the concussion storyline. Shawn Michaels obviously grateful, and he's asked about retirement, and Shawn Michaels says, "I'm not even going to dignify that with a response." So good acting by Michaels here. And Todd Pettengill says on the internet everybody's been worried about him. That's pretty early to mention the internet in December of 1995. I remember going online in October of 97, but that's still pretty early. Ahmed Johnson versus Rick Stockhausen. Ahmed Johnson versus Rick Stockhausen. So Ahmed's not even a good wrestler. So Rick Stockhausen, I'm hoping he's good. He's a jobber in this match. Dean Douglas will take on Ahmed at Season's Beating, so he comes to promo as Ahmed comes to the ring. Ahmed Johnson with one of the worst spine busters I've ever seen in my life, and that's one of his 3 moves, so that's not a good sign. He hits another spine buster because he knows he wants to redo it, being that Raw is taped, but they actually used both of his bad spine busters. The second one wasn't even much better than the first. Then he hits the Pearl River Plunge, and McMahon goes nuts for that move because it actually looks like it's actually a pretty decent move. I don't give jobber matches duds often because they're the jobber in there making someone look good. So, but that was a dud. King then tells Ahmed Johnson the toughest 4 years of his life were 3rd grade. He said that's what Dean Douglas told him. So Ahmed Johnson gets a little cutthroat there. I love the King's mullet too. In 1995, he had like a mullet, long hair in the back, and then he cut it come 1996. But it was funny to watch in '95. 123 Kid cuts a promo on Razor Ramon, and he says that him and Sid, the $1 Million Corporation, are the best duo in WWF history. Yeah, he said that. Sid says he won't enjoy this, but he'll like it. Does Sid not realize that's the same thing? Sid then says, I'm not serious. We will enjoy it. Evil laughing and putting over the Psycho in the name Psycho Sid. Next up, Bret Hart takes on Bob Backlund. This is 6 days before Bret Hart takes on the Bulldog. Well, as far as when this show aired on December the 11th, 1995. It actually was taped in late November, but when it aired, it was 6 days. It was the go-home show. Bob and Bret battle for leverage. This match had all the amateur wrestling, chain wrestling, amateur go-behind waist locks into an armbar, hammerlock, wrist lock. That kind of match. The same match Angle worked on with Benoit or Angle and Lesnar. It's the reason people wanted Kurt Angle to wrestle Bret Hart. Because Bret could adapt to any style, as McMahon said. But he really adapted to Backlund's style here. These guys are just awesome chain wrestling. I rate this match 3 stars and a quarter, even though the Bulldog came out and DQ'd Bret. Or he DQ'd Backlund because he attacked Bret. And Backlund had the crossface chicken wing on Bret, but Bulldog kept stomping and stomping and stomping at Bret and pummeling him in front of his own sister Diana. And McMahon couldn't believe that. I rate this Raw a 4 out of 10. It was just a crap show. Let's just be honest. The only thing that worth watching was seeing Bret and Backlund before it got broken up. Literally, the only thing on this show worth the damn. 4.5 out of 10 sounds about right. 4.5 I'll go with. And that might be overrating it, actually. Ratings-wise, WWF lost again by 0.1 in the ratings. But overall, the scoreboard again is 6 wins for Raw, 6 wins for Nitro, and 2 draws through 14 weeks of the Monday Night Wars. Thanks to everybody who's watching along. You can watch these shows anytime, and you can come back and watch these reviews with the shows. I'll archive them, Nitros, old Raws, on my playlist, so stay subscribed and hit like. And we'll see you on the next Raw. I'm now going to review the 14th Nitro that could take place this week. I always post them side by side. That way you guys know which episode when it's against what episode. I'll never post just one. I always post both at the same time. I'm Brett Mix. Thanks for watching this review, and I'm out.